Okay, all right, guys. Here's another video that I'm gonna do. Hopefully, one of many blogs to complement. Sorry, video blogs to complement my blog that's been online for quite some time, which is Key Creative Studio. You can go to keycreativestudio.blogspot.com for lots of articles on art, animation, and some drawing tips as well. Um, Now, what I want to get into today is about figure drawing as it relates to women and figure drawing using appealing design. Now, I described in my blog before straights versus curves, complements and straights or curves are what we want to achieve in a more graphically appealing design. Um, you know, this relationship of um, a straight and a curve is like the beginning of what they call in animation appealing design. Okay, okay, all right. When you look at some animated characters, you'll see this kind of appealing design repeated a lot in a lot of figures. If you look at Disney characters or any Pixar, they use this relationship not so perfectly because the shapes are gonna differ. The shapes might be a little bit more squarish, but there is that relationship of a straight and another curve here, or you can do it like with a triangle, like so, and even like make it three-dimensional by throwing like a third angle in here. And this is what they call appealing design. And this is something that we can use to make what we're drawing to have a more interesting or more appealing sense, rather than making shapes that are just going to be very very linear, like this. We don't want that. I mean, perspective is very very important if we're going to be drawing the figure. Of course, that is very very important. These are things like we use as tools, to help us, maintain a sense of perspective when drawing a figure. But we don't want to end up just drawing boxes and figures. It's like just drawing boxes and geometrical shapes, because people are not particularly interested in seeing that. So we should keep in mind that these are just tools, that we use, um, to help us, maintain a sense of like solid drawing, when getting down the figure. Okay, so um, how do we get from here to something that has a sense of appeal, um, and something that is something we wouldn't mind looking at, or coming back to again and again when we view it as the audience. Okay, um, let me go to another page here. So, um, you know, gesture, of course, is very very important. It's that's still maybe the most important thing in terms of getting down the figure. If you don't know, if you don't capture the gesture, really we don't have anything. That the gesture is what the figure is communicating. Whether through action or emotion, or the combination of the two. Um, for example here, if I have someone like this, okay, um, we can tell that the basic essence of this gesture here is that this figure, even though it's just a glorified stick figure, I hope that you can see this, that there's weight on this foot here. There's less weight on this foot here. Um, this is twisting. This is turning around this way. Okay, so this is going to be the basis for everything that you're going to be doing when you want to get the figure down. You really want this to inform your drawing. Um, Now, as you get a little bit more comfortable, you don't necessarily have to be a slave to this, and you can combine this with graphic forms to help flesh it out. As I showed you before, we can use uh, uh, geometrical shapes. Let's say like maybe like a cylinder for the leg, another cylinder, for the lower part of the leg, another cylinder here, uh, sort of another cylinder over this way. Okay, and this is all this is all fine and good. But one thing we definitely we don't want is that we don't want our figures like looking stiff. Um, so how do we um, get more of a flow and more of an interesting graphic quality to what we're trying to draw. There's the town clock. It is 5 o'clock where I am. Hope that's not coming off too loud. Okay. Okay. So this is one way of just getting the basic essence of the figure down on paper. Okay. And this is fine. Um, this is one way of doing it. There's as the saying goes, there's more than one way to skin a cat. You do not have to be a slave just to one method of capturing a figure. You want to have as many tools in your toolkit to pull them out, as need be. Maybe from certain angles. Maybe you might take a more graphic approach. Maybe from some angles, maybe you definitely want to lay it in more and draw from the inside out, or maybe you might want to take more of a scribbly approach in terms of building it from the inside, from the gesture, and building on top of it, like so. Okay. One of my favorite tools for figure drawing is something that's used a lot in animation, which at Disney they would call the flour sack. But since I'm here in Japan, I like to call it a rice bag. Okay, and the flour sack has been sort of a tool or an armature that artists use for capturing the torso. All right, the upper part, being the rib cage, the lower part representing like where the pelvis would be. And I think it's a very effective tool because generally I like to keep in mind the torso because I feel like that's where a lot of the what dictates what the body's going to be doing in terms of like is it leaning, is it twisting, is it sinking to the ground, is it raising up. So I think this is a very, very effective tool if if you just basically want to get you want to get some just a basic sense of what the figure is doing. There it is. This it's just turning over like that. I placed the head here, to show that it's bending over. So obviously, and you use a little overlap like that, to show that this person is bending over. Okay. So it's a very very effective tool you can use if you just need to like get the figure down quickly. Okay. So what I'm gonna do though, the one problem with the flour sack is that by its very design, it doesn't really come off as something that is quite uh, um, female, shall we say. Actually, if anything, the flour sack looks very much male. And if you're not careful, if you use this too much, you know you're going to have a lot of barrel-chested women. Okay, so you know the trick um, is to take this and to make it a little bit more female. And it doesn't have to be all that hard. If we think about the anatomy on a woman, women's um, rib cages tend to be somewhat narrow, and the hips are wider. Okay, obviously, but you can see I'm keeping in line with many of the principles of the basic the flour sack or this bean design. Well, I've just modified it graphically, you know, so that it looks more, you know, like a female. Okay, um, and you know, if you really want to take it to the next step, you can really go graphic with it. Just basically go for like this sort of like a almost like a fruit gourd kind of design, to get a female design. You know, all the thing we need to do, you know, is just, you know, we can add breasts on it. I mean, this is almost, not almost, it is very very cartoonish, but I think it's very effective in terms of yeah, you know, you just want to show that you know, you just want to draw a female here. Um, okay, there we go. And maybe she's looking over this way. And maybe hands are going off that way. Okay. Okay. Again, I'm just throwing this here so you guys can get an idea. But you know, there's our female. Okay, and very very thick, uh, buxom female here. But you know, I'm doing this for clarity. I'm not, don't want to portray this is my particular taste. You know, because you know, women are beautiful in all sorts of shapes and sizes. Okay, so. But anyway, you know, I did this. This is a very, very graphic design. And another thing in terms of females, you know, you want things to flow. You know, you want one thing to flow into one force and form, and flow into another one, flow into another one, and flow into another one. So you want to always try to make sure, you know, you have, you know, a nice sense of rhythm when you're drawing a female figure. You know, you want to avoid, you know, you want to avoid straights and hard lines. You know, you save that for the guys, basically. Okay, for women, you know, you want things to flow. Okay, I'm gonna take this another step. Um, you know, we can make this even more graphic if you want. So I gave you the example of like the modified flour sack or rice bag, but basically I'm just making it narrower here and wider there. So we you know we have a, you know, the basis for a female. You know, and of course you can add your breasts on there like that, and then a rib cage like that. Okay, so that's one way of doing it. Another thing you can do, if you really want to make it clear for yourself, you can break it down to these very very simple geometric shapes. You know, so instead of just drawing that straight out, you can think of um, um, a triangle using a peeling shape or a peeling design here. There's my modified straight, there's my very clear curve. And of course, you can use a circle for the head, that's fine. And here, a straight and a curve for the pelvis. And already you can see that, this inherently looks very, very female. We just need to touch this up a little bit, to get, the form we want. Obviously, here's the rib cage, here's, the nice whiteness of the pelvis. But we do have this relationship of straights and curves. There's a straight here, there's a curve, okay? Some might say I'm bending some of the rules in terms of, like, the way straights and curves should feed into one another, but this basic design still holds true here. So I feed this part of the body into here, I feed this into here, okay? I know that the pelvic bone is here, the pelvic bone is here. Belly button is midway through the body, so it'll be about here. Rib cage, like so. Okay, and again, this is very, very stylized. Okay, so don't take this as the the way to always like draw something. I'm just really thinking about making designs that are appealing. Okay, there's my leg. Okay, there's my other leg. Okay, there's arm here. Okay, okay, arm here. Okay, breast. Okay, breast. Okay, and then again, I'll let her look over this way, because try not to make everything like looking in the same direction, because that's boring. You want to look for, like, you want to find opportunities to twist things, because obviously that makes things more interesting. It creates a sense of drama or action, when the character is not really doing anything. Okay, all right. So I hope that makes a little sense. Okay, in terms of and I put a little bun in the back. Just to place the head in space. And give a little bit of overlap. Okay, so there we go. So I know this is very, very rough, but this is an armature that you can use to get yourself started when you want to draw the female form. Okay, I'm gonna pull out some other examples that I've drawn already for you, and these are very, very rough too, but I just want to illustrate where these relationships are. Okay, so these are kind of like really fast and loose, So here's the triangle I was talking about, right? That's using a peeling design. There's the straight and the curve of that I'm using in the pelvis, that's feeding into that. Okay, and then from there, I can pull out the other forms. Okay, the breasts, of course, and these are stylized breasts. Okay, all right. These are a little bit idyllic, breasts for. So you know, I mean, to be true, I mean this is sort of like an quote unquote an animated way of designing, but I'm just giving you guys a tool that can help inform your drawing when you need to draw something that has some more appealing shapes. Okay. Get my little generic bun here. You know. You see that? This feed into that, feed into that, feed into that. Okay. So, by the way, use these tools to help you. Don't be a slave to them. That's my other advice. It's kind of easy, like when you find a tool that works for you, and you end up like using that all the time. And I've noticed that you know yeah, I think it's just how things go. You can't have the same answer, or use the exact same solution for every problem that you have. You have to be able to adapt, and maybe use a combination of solutions. So this is just one way, one form that I employ, like when I draw. So again, rib cage simplified to triangle, feeding into the pelvis. I'm using curve straight here, straight across. Feed that across. Okay. Yes, this is a very, very graphic way of drawing. So, but this is for fun. Okay. Okay. This knee overlapping this leg here. Okay. Again, breasts stylized. Very rare you're gonna find ladies with perfect breasts like cartoon breasts like that. Okay. And again, you want things to flow. You want to keep your hand moving. Okay. Do not get stuck in one place. Okay. Always keep your hands keep your hands moving. That way your drawing will you know won't get all stiff looking and stuff like that. Pelvic bone here. Okay. Have the abdomen like that. Okay. 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 I hope this is helping a little bit. If you guys have, if anything I'm saying here is not clear or what have you, please, leave me a comment. I want to know, is it worth it, for me to do these videos or not. If you guys are watching, if someone out there likes it, I will do more. And and I'm very open to any comments or requests or critiques for that matter. Okay. Here I've broken it down. Also, just like the torso. Okay. Again, rib cage. So there's this triangle again. So you don't have to draw a perfect triangle, but the triangle should inform your understanding of anatomy. Because I know the rib cage pops out like that, and it comes out and it leans back like so. Pelvis. Okay. Just coming out. It's feeding into the thigh. Okay. So this is coming forward. This is going back. Okay. This one, I really need to put the breasts on that one. Again here. Curve straight at the back. To curve the lower part of the abdomen. I'm sorry, lower part of the pelvis. Straight here. Feed that into there. Okay. Coming out, going back. Okay. All right. So, just try this method on your own, and excuse me. Yeah, try this method on your own, and see how it works for you. This is again, this is just a tool. When you draw, try to draw from life whenever possible. Okay, like at my drawing workshops that I have every 2 months, which is Key Creative Studio. Also, please, draw from life. Please try not to copy. Don't, if you're a complete beginner, yes, copying is very helpful, and it can help you get from A to Z. If you're trying to just, if you need like training wheels, to guide you. But if there are artists out there that you really admire, that you really like, try to understand why they drew something a certain way. Don't say, oh, this is the way to draw it, but try to understand why they drew a certain way. Frank Frazetta drew women one way, but he did it for a particular kind of design. Degas drew women his way because he wanted a certain kind of style for it. That was his choice. Or if you're looking at Disney characters, well, they are designed a particular way. So all these forms, all these various ways of drawing are effective, and they all have their distinctive appeal. But you should think about what is the artist trying to communicate. Are they communicating something that is very sexy and powerful, like you might see in a Frazetta? Or are you looking for something that that looks very very weighty and having a lot of volume, like you see like in a Degas, or for that matter, I mean, some people might draw female figures that are very slender. They don't always have to necessarily have like very very large hips. For example, I'll do this last drawing here. Take my gesture, my basic gesture anyway. I'm just laying that down there, and all right, I want to shoot from the hip here. Curve the back. Sorry, straight at the back. Curve the front of the chest. Feeding into the pelvis here. Okay, again, just a more graphic form of our modified rice bag. Okay. Let me change pencils. Let me use one that's a little bit clearer. It's a little darker. Okay. Yeah. Straight at the back. Curve the front. Curve the pelvis here. Okay. I know this leg is coming out here. Okay. Okay. There we go. And put a little bit more weight. This hip is up, so that means there's more weight on this leg. Okay. anatomy here for the rib cage. Head turning out. Okay. Shoulders. Lower forearm. Okay. Again, I avoid avoid making straights as much as possible. Try to make sure everything curves out. Feed this here. Okay. Part of the thigh. This comes out. I guess she has less weight on that foot. Breasts coming out. Breasts here. Okay. She's twisting away, but this time, instead of looking up, I'm gonna make her look down this time. Okay. And there we go. There's our our basic female form. Okay. Looking at pictures are okay. But I think it's really best to draw from life. Go to a life drawing class. Sit in the park. Draw people in the park from far away, so they don't see you, so they don't get flipped out. They don't want people feeling uncomfortable. Okay. All right. So anyway, I hope this helps a little bit. Again, this is just an armature, so we can get the figure down. Get the basic figure down. We can talk about further designing this even more. But of course, we'll be talking about like what sort of details we'll be putting in the face and things like that. But I just wanted to talk about appealing design. So again, I'll leave you with this. Okay, you can take the flour sack, which I think is somewhat male, and modify that to be more female. Okay. All right. If you want to even make it even more graphic, just break it down to these shapes. Like a triangle, the curve. Sorry, with a straight and a curve here, and another curve and straight going in here. All right. Okay, I hope that helps, and I hope to see you at the next Key Creative Studio drawing workshop. Okay, thanks a lot. Bye bye.